It's the 0 to 100 podcast, and I decided to do a little draft day eve video. A lot of the media scouts or the draft experts decided to put out their final mock drafts as the NFL draft takes place tomorrow in Pittsburgh, with in prime time on Thursday night. And so the first final mock that I wanted to take a look at was Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, which if this were to come to pass, I would be very thrilled. And I think most Cowboys fans would be. So at pick 12, Daniel Jeremiah has Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State. And then at pick 20, he has the Cowboys taking the edge from University of Central Florida, Malachi Lawrence. So Caleb Downs, he says this is a perfect scenario for the Cowboys. Downs suffers a bit from positional value fall and gives Dallas an instant impact player on a defense that allowed the most points per game, 30.1, and passing yards per game, 251.5 last season. And for Malachi Lawrence, he says this is a potential trade down spot. I've heard that the Cowboys like Lawrence, which makes a lot of sense considering their new assistant defensive line coach, Dimitri Brim, was a analyst for UCF last season. So that is what he has for the Cowboys taking at 12 and 20. Most Cowboys fans, I think, would be thrilled, especially with Caleb Downs. I don't know how likely it is for Caleb Downs to actually make it to the Cowboys, but we shall see. And the reason why I find it a little hard to believe is just because of some of the players that Daniel Jeremiah does have going before that pick. And I just wanted to kind of focus on the Giants because the Giants have been very heavily linked to Caleb Downs. And so I could understand them passing on Downs at 5 because, if Jeremiah Love were to fall to them, which I really didn't even think about until Teddy had brought it up in the last episode that we recorded. And it would be kind of crazy for the Giants to go Jeremiah Love when they had Saquon Barkley for all those years and totally misused them and then just gave them away for no. Actually, didn't even give. Yeah, they gave them away because they didn't try to trade them or anything. But then he also has them taking Cardinal Tate at 10, which again I don't think that's actually far fetched. I don't know if the Giants are going to go, offense per se, but that's the thing. The only thing about it that makes me a little skeptical because I'm like, are they gonna pass on uh Caleb Downs twice? It does make you question it just a little bit. The next mock that I wanted to take a look at, the final mock was Peter Schrager's final mock draft. Peter Schrager, who actually had got a lot of Cowboys fans excited when he first did his first mock draft because he had the Cowboys taking Caleb Downs at 12 and he had them taking Akeem Mesidor, the defensive end, at 20. This one, he has the Cowboys actually trading up with Kansas City, swapping 12 and 20 for 9 and 29, which if the Cowboys were to trade up, because the more popular one, and I'll get to that, is with Cleveland. But for me, if the Cowboys were to trade up, I would be more happy if they did it with Kansas City because it would still give them an opportunity to keep a second first round pick, which I do think the Cowboys really want to do. Especially after their pre-draft press conference that they had today. So he has the Cowboys taking Mansour Delane, the cornerback from LSU, at 9, which when we did our mock draft, that's who we had the Cowboys end up taking. He says, okay, first trade, I can see this happening after allowing 377 yards per game and letting opponents convert on third down 47.3% of the time, ranking among the worst in the NFL. In both, Dallas has to get one of the top defensive prospects. It's a necessity, but there's no guarantee any of them, Downs, Delane, Miami Edge, Ruben Bain, etc., will still be there at 12. There's a chance to guarantee getting one of them and still have another first round pick. Delane's coverage ability should help stop some of the big plays that doom the Cowboys in 2025. I couldn't agree more. Like out of the big six that I mentioned, Mansour Delane was in there, but he was like the sixth most favorite defensive player that I impact defensive player that I wanted the Cowboys to get. And he also has the Cowboys taking Malachi Lawrence, the defensive end from University of Central Florida. So there has been a lot of smoke in regards to Mansour, in with Malachi Lawrence. So who knows? Maybe somebody is talking, and that's what that's what's being put out there. So the final mock draft that I wanted to take a look at is Mel Kiper's mock, and this has been an extremely popular trade up scenario for the Cowboys. Zach Walchuk from 105.3 The Fan, I think was the first person I saw on Twitter that even floated this idea, and then a ton of people started to pick it up and run with it. But Mel Kiper has the Cowboys trading up to 6 with the Browns. That would include giving up 12 and 20 for 6 and 39. I'm okay with it because it would still give the Cowboys 3 picks within the top 100, just like how they have 3 picks right now within the top 100. So it wouldn't really impact them too much. He has them taking the linebacker from Ohio State, Sonny Styles. I like Sonny Styles. Like, if out of the big 6, like I said, there's 6 impact defensive players that I would like the Cowboys to go after, that being Everall Reese, David Bailey, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bay, Mansour Delane. I didn't actually rank this in any particular order that I really wanted it, because honestly, I would prefer, like, my dream is Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain. Like, those are my dream scenarios for the Cowboys to pick at 12. Sonny Styles comes in third for me. I like Sonny Styles a lot. I don't feel like I like him more than Caleb Downs though. So, like, if it was a choice between Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, please give me Caleb Downs. I think the Cowboys might feel the other way. Well, actually, I'm not sure. One of the interesting things that came out leading up to the draft is how someone had asked Christian Parker who had to be the green dot in regards to calling the defense. And traditionally, it's a linebacker. It's like the inside linebacker that does that. Christian Parker and them came out and said that they don't necessarily believe that it has to be a linebacker that would be calling the defense or being the green dot. And that means it could be a safety. And so if I just feel like Caleb Downs is the Swiss Army knife that Christian Parker would need for his defense. Like, I keep being stuck on the fact that he says he wants to run a multiple defense, and by being multiple, it means like the base could look like a 3-4, but it's more like a 4-2-5, which is, I think, more in lines of what he wants to run, which is why I've been so high on players that have versatility. Ruben Bain, I think, is another player that really would fit Christian Parker's scheme, because he could play the pass rushing defensive end on the outside, or he could play the big physical defensive end inside on the in the line, because some people are trying to play Ruben Bain as a defensive tackle, which I don't think he's a defensive tackle, but it's just that he gives that type of flexibility to me. So those are the 3 mocks that I kind of wanted to focus on. Definitely Daniel Jeremiah's is the one that I would absolutely positively love for it to happen, but we shall see. We'll find out tomorrow, finally, mercifully. And of course, the 0 to 100 podcast will be back to check it, to give our reactions, or my reaction to what happened with the Cowboys draft. Let me know what you think. Which mock did you like? You could always email the show, 0 to 100pod@gmail.com. And then again, make sure you follow me on all the socials. Just search at WCW Poet. Make sure you subscribe and share to the 0 to 100 podcast, because like I said before, definitely going to be putting out more content. And it's not always going to be Cowboy stuff, but Uh, definitely going to be very Cowboy heavy and especially Cowboy centric now that the draft is here. But thanks for listening. We out.